Okay, this is Hannah, Vincent, Angel, and Aaron's presentation on Lord Robert Cecil. Lord Robert Cecil, also known as Salisbury from 1868 onwards, was a staunch supporter of the Confederacy. He and his wife, Georgina, had 8 children. Cecil began his political career by winning a seat in the House of Commons in 1854 and later served as Secretary of State for India from 1866 to 1867. In 1881, he assumed leadership of the Conservative Party in the House of Lords and eventually succeeded William Gladstone as Prime Minister in June 1885. Following his tenure as Prime Minister, Cecil became the third Marquess of Salisbury and served 3 terms in office. He was highly regarded for his strength and effectiveness in foreign affairs, possessing a comprehensive understanding of global issues. This is where Lord Robert Cecil was born. During the American Civil War, Britain's relationship with America was intricate due to differences in slave policies. While Britain had abolished slavery, America had not. Britain relied on the southern states, which utilized chattel slavery for cotton production. The North's adoption of the Emancipation Proclamation changed European perspective on the conflict. Lincoln's stance against chattel slavery influenced European opinion. The South claimed to fight for self-determination, accusing the North of encroaching on their autonomy. The moral dilemma of slavery influenced European support for either the Union or Confederacy. Lord Robert Cecil leveraged his political and economic expertise to navigate these complexities, addressing the British Parliament on the Civil War's implications. Lord Cecil recognized the political and commercial competitions between Britain and Northern states during the American Civil War. Both entities sought to control global trade routes and exert influence over the international waters. They competed for economic dominance and market share. These rivalries, along with their mutual ambitions for global supremacy, led to tensions and distrust between Britain and the Union. Despite the political, economic, and geopolitical rivalry with the North, Britain hesitated to openly support them during the American Civil War. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation altered the narrative as siding with the South contradicted European opposition to slavery. Lord Robert Cecil maintained sympathy for the Southern states despite this shift. He addressed the British Parliament, highlighting complex geopolitical and economic factors that shaped Britain's stance on the war. Cecil acknowledged the rivalries with the North while recognizing economic and strategic interests that aligned Britain with the South. However, he emphasized Britain's official neutrality during the conflict. Lord Cecil's perspective on the American Civil War is primarily influenced by how it will affect Britain's economy and geopolitical standing, reflecting his focus on his country's interests. In contrast, American politicians may not prioritize these considerations as heavily, focusing more on domestic factors and ideological principles. Lord Cecil's stance during the American Civil War remained consistent, advocating for neutrality while expressing sympathy for the Southern states. His address influenced public opinion in Britain, leading to sympathy for the South among influential figures. Even after Cecil's death, his approach to foreign affairs continued to shape Britain's cautious navigation of its relationship with America during the Civil War. This period underscores the significant influence of political, economic, and geopolitical factors on international relations during times of conflict. This exercise provided a deeper understanding of the Civil War's global impact, particularly through the lens of Robert Cecil's unique perspective, focused on Britain's interests. By examining the agendas of Northern and Southern leaders, students gained insight into how global figures approached foreign affairs during the war. This alternative viewpoint encourages students to explore the broader global context often overlooked. Cecil's concerns about potential threats from the Union to Europe influenced his advocacy for neutrality, contributing to a more comprehensive understanding of Britain's non-interference despite opposition to slavery. While the project may not fundamentally alter students' perspectives on the Civil War, it expands their understanding and offers a broader perspective. And these were our sources cited for all the work and for the photos used in the slides.